joined the PWR originally when I turned 16, and I joined them back in 2002. Then sort of stayed with them, did numerous tours in Iraq, Telic 4, Telic 8, then went on to do HERRICK 9 with the Royal Marine Commandos back in early 2008. After I finished my tour with the Commandos, I decided when my family moved up to East Anglia that I'd like to join the local regiment. At the time, it was the 1st Battalion Royal Anglian Regiment. I put in a transfer and I moved across. On joining them, I was in country only about 4 months since returning from my last tour of Afghanistan, HERRICK 9, when the 1st Battalion was called on to go on HERRICK 11 with 19 Brigade. I was in PWRR. I had a long history with the reconnaissance platoon, recce qualifications and armoured recce qualifications. So upon moving over, I joined the recce platoon and Cambridgeshire Company of 1 Royal Anglian, and then deployed with them on HERRICK 11. On returning, did numerous courses and exercises with the battalion, and then later on deployed on my last tour duty with them, which was HERRICK 16, before returning and receiving the military cross, and then moving on to Carrick to work with recruits. Recce platoon were deployed on HERRICK 16, part of 12 Met Gates tour of duty out there in 2013. We deployed out as the battle group, as in the 1 Royal Anglian battle group's reconnaissance platoon, and we were deployed in Nadi Ali in southern Helmand province. And while we were there, we conducted operations in the contested Daesh area of Nadi Ali, which was along the Neb Canal, where we were pushed out and find and destroy Taliban influence in that area. After months of continuing operations in the Daesh, we then were given the tasking to move to Gereshk Valley and help the Grenadier Guards battle group, who were tied up in a constant battle with the Taliban. They just earlier lost one of their men in their reconnaissance platoon, and their reconnaissance platoon was pulled out of the valley to regroup, and we were then pushed in. We then deployed on an operation to clear a major area of the Gereshk Valley with the ANA, and on this operation we were deployed with the Queen's Company of the Grenadier Guards as a major blocking force to the northern part of the Gereshk Valley. We were helicoptered in at night, we landed, and from the minute we landed to the minute we walked out of the valley, we were constantly in battle with the Taliban. We were trying to push south and fight the ANA who had moved into the area. During the 10 days we were there, we sort of were in sporadic gunfights, ambushes, them ambushing us, we were ambushing them. It was a very contested time, and we went into the valley with 35 men in our platoon, but we only walked out with 25. The rest were wounded, including myself. During the time of the action, we pushed out on an ambush late at night, where we were to ambush a known enemy firing point. It was very dark, very quiet, and we moved down a ditch line for about 600, 700 metres, set out this ambush just before first light. Then we laid in position until the sun came up. Most of the guys just sitting in the water and waiting. Myself and another man, Anthony Etheridge, with the machine gun, were posted to the flank by a doorway. The minute the sun rose, the Taliban put their heads up, we're not realising that they were sleeping on the firing points. And a minute they put their heads up, a gunfight ensued between us and the Taliban. At that moment, I kind of realised that they were inside the compound that I was sitting right next to. So I got up, moved inside. The second I moved inside, they were coming through the compound, and one of them appeared in the doorway opposite to mine, and a mini gunfight pursued between me and him, which I managed to push through him and into the next doorway. Upon looking through the next doorway, they were trying to escape through the back. Then we carried on to clear the compound. I pushed through and in. The rest of the platoon followed up, and we battled through the rest of the village for the remainder of the day. By the time that the fight had ended, I'd realised that one of them had thrown a grenade, and some of the shrapnel was in my shoulder. And by the time I patrolled back, it seemed that it'd been in there for quite a while, and I'd not noticed. When I was told about the award, I was called into the office of the CO and the RSM. I wasn't actually told I was getting it. I was told that I was meant to be going in to see the CO about a discussion about my career in the army. So it was more tricked into going to see the CO. And I was waiting outside the office thinking that I'd done something wrong and I was in trouble. And there was a few other guys there. I was called into the office first, or marched in by the RSM, stood in front of the CO, saluted, and he told me to sit down. As I sat down, him and the RSM sat down in front of me, and at that point, they told me that I'd been awarded a military cross, which at that time I didn't actually believe them. I looked blankly at them and said, no, I haven't won that. And they said I had. Kind of a big shock to the system. I was told to keep it quiet for 24 hours until it was released. I kind of walked away from the office rather stunned, kind of pleased for the platoon, as the only way I could really receive that award was if it was their award, not mine, because it was a team effort the whole time. No man was ever alone for any period of time. The build up to receiving it was pretty quiet. I mean, I went to Sandhurst where it was announced, and then after that it was just normal work. Not to be congratulated, but it was just normal work up until the time a few months later that I went to Buckingham Palace to receive it, where I took my mum, my dad, my best friend who was there at the time of the winner of the MC, and we just, it was surreal, to be honest, and I didn't actually believe I was in Buckingham Palace. And to be there and to see everything and to be given it by the Queen herself was a great honour and a great privilege. But I probably could never do it again because I've never been so nervous in all my life. My mum and dad were extremely proud, but probably will never do that again. I've been a recce soldier now for about 13 years. It's probably the best job you can do in any infantry battalion. You're the most trusted men within that battalion. If anything, the chosen men of the battalion, because you are the eyes and ears of any battle group on any real fighting for a thing. And to do the job, you have to be very switched on, very good at your job, and just do the simple things to the best you can do them. The platoons that I've served in, I've served with some of the best men I can ever imagine to have by your side. They have done astonishing feats of bravery and skill in the face of the enemy. Most of them have been wounded and came back and done their job like nothing had ever happened. The recce platoons, they push out and carry out small team jobs in enemy areas, finding out information, every single item that the enemy carry, where they are, where they're positioned, and also to destroy the enemy's capability of conducting recce as well. We also do small strike tasks for the CO himself. If he says he wants something destroyed or captured, then he will send us to go and do it, because he can rely on us to get the job done. We also work quite closely with Sniper Platoon, who are our sister platoon, who most of the time are given out to the companies to support them in their actions, but also can conduct the same sort of tasks as we can do, overwatching enemy positions, observation posts, which they can join in with us, and also conducting that eyes and ears that the battle group needs to conduct its operations in the areas we're working. Just a platoon who most of the time are given out to companies to support them in their actions, but also can conduct the same sort of tasks as we can do, overwatching enemy positions, observation posts, which they can join in with us, and also conducting that eyes and ears that the battle group needs to conduct its operations in the areas we're working.